listening to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Emily.
And we're passionate about holistic wellness that real people with real lives can achieve.
We see you out there striving for perfection, but we want you to know that good enough can be good enough.
Before we get started, everything we talk about in this show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always talk to your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, medication, or supplements. You're listening to episode 31, When Your Heart Hurts. In this episode, we are going to have an honest and vulnerable conversation about fertility struggles and how to care for your heart this Valentine's Day.
So, Kayla, what have you been nerding out about?
I couldn't come up with anything because I have just had a bad attitude this week. Before we started recording, I just unloaded on Emily and I was like, and that's why I don't have anything to nerd out about, because I have a bad attitude, and I just do.
And I said, valid.
So, Emily, what about you?
So I don't know if this is something I'm nerding out about, but it's something I'm doing. And this was kind of one of my goals at the beginning of the year, is to start hitting 10,000 steps. It's arbitrary. I understand, like, it was like a marketing ploy, yada, yada, whatever. You can get into the weeds if you want, but movement is movement and movement is good. And I do have a walking pad. It's something I invested in last winter because where we live, both climate-wise and just like terrain-wise, it's a lot of snow, a lot of mud and ice, just depending on the weather that week. And no sidewalks. Like, it's not like I can just get out and go for a walk very easily. I do snowshoe some, but you can't snowshoe as much as you can walk because your heart will give out. It is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. So I've been very purposeful about hitting that goal for the last week and a half or so. And I set this intention, and I actually used some formulas from Atomic Habits to reach it. And Atomic Habits, a lot of his shtick is about, it's not so much about how you're going to have a habit, but when you're going to have a habit. So there's this formula that's when this happens, I will do this. Mm-hmm. So before I go to bed, I will brush my teeth. After I wash the dishes, I will put lotion on my hands, that sort of thing. So my shtick became, when we watch a movie at night, I will walk on the walking pad and finish my steps. So whatever I needed the rest of the day to reach the 10,000, that's when I would do it. And that habit that it's after dinner, we're going to put on a movie. It's wintertime. We watch actually a lot of movies in the winter. It's when we catch up on that. And it's worked phenomenally. And I was just telling Kayla some things that I noticed that are completely unrelated to a lot of the reasons you might want to move more is I'm actually genuinely tired at night. Not just oh, I'm so sleepy, but my body is ready to rest, and it leaves a lot less room for my brain to be overthinking, which is always nice. And I also, I struggle with my appetite a lot. I don't have a great appetite. I've been having a lot of random nausea, that sort of thing. And my appetite has regulated, and I'm hungry and excited to eat meals, which is a huge win for me. So yeah, 10,000 steps. I endorse that, and I will definitely be continuing that.
Awesome.
Hey there, Goopers. Yeah, Goopers. You guys who listen to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast, that's your name now. Get used to it. Are you craving a healthier, more balanced life, but you're not sure where to start? Or maybe you've tried all the tips and tricks that seem impossible to keep up with because, well, you've got a real life. Sound familiar? Here's some good news. We've got something just for you. Our free Patreon community is all about holistic wellness that works for real people just like you. Whether you're juggling a busy schedule, navigating health challenges, or just curious about improving your digestion, sleep, or energy levels, we're here to help you thrive without the overwhelm. Inside, you'll find show notes, downloads, worksheets, and exclusive recordings to help you get started. Plus, it's not just about advice, it's about connection. You'll join a supportive group of people on the same journey, cheering each other on and sharing ideas that actually work. The best part? It's totally free to join. So why not take the first step today? Head over to patreon.com/goodenoughwellnesspodcast and join the community where wellness meets real life. Let's grow together. You've got this. So I would like to introduce this episode, and then I'm going to kind of sit back and get out of the way. This is all about heartache and infertility, and just a message that we felt was really important this Valentine's Day, that this is a really common struggle, and I think it can be really easy to feel alone in it. And Kayla has graciously offered up her rawness and her heart to you, and I'm very eager to sit back and listen and learn some things. And without further ado, I will let you take off with it.
Yeah, so this was not something that I was very excited to share, I guess. It's not something I'm like, I don't know, it's just not something I'm excited about. And especially as a nutritional therapy practitioner and someone that has helped people in the past, like regulate their cycles and get things back on track. It's really frustrating and almost embarrassing that it's not happening for me. So just a little bit of background, a little bit of my story. I was on hormonal birth control for, I think, 7.5 years. And then I went off of it and my period was missing. And then I didn't have a ton of tools in my toolbox to correct that. I had one resource and it was a really overwhelming resource, and so I didn't even use it very much because I just felt very overwhelmed by it, and I wanted to give my body a chance to get back on track, and I didn't understand that it didn't have the building blocks that it needed to get back on track without any help. I know a ton more now about micronutrients and vitamins, minerals, all the things that I now know are absolutely crucial for fertility. I didn't know a lot of that stuff then. And so I didn't support my body in the best possible way. Anyway, that led me to diving deep into minerals and metabolic health. And we talked about this in like our introduction episode. Like Emily really got me started on that. She was like, I think you'd really love all this stuff. And she was right, I did. And that led me to like going to school and becoming a nutritional therapy practitioner. And really learning a ton about fertility itself, and also just like how the body works and how it needs micronutrients to do everything, and that includes fertility. And it also helped me understand that fertility is so downstream from everything else, all the other functions in the body, because the body needs to survive. It does not need to procreate. If it can procreate, that's great, and we should be striving toward having that capability, but it's not crucial for your survival necessarily.
Right. It's almost like fertility is the consequence, the result of having a functioning body.
Yes, exactly. So that's kind of my fertility journey. So for the past, let me see, probably 4 years now, I have been really diving deep into like more metabolic health. But then I was also like kind of irresponsible with that, because when you have a new hammer, everything looks like a nail. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, drink orange juice and raw milk and eat bread. Got it. And I think I further wrecked some things instead of supporting some things. And so now I'm kind of correcting that stuff. There's other pieces of the puzzle. I'm sure like there's some genetic pieces of the puzzle.
I'm with you in that boat of like when you learn these new things about like not restricting your eating and stuff. Some things I think did go downhill like physiology wise a little bit. And I know you and I both had the same problem of like, oh, look at this newfound safety weight. How about that? But
Yeah.
a lot of things, at least for me, and maybe you can confirm this, a lot of mental and psychological things healed during that
Yes.
time. I think it can be easy to kind of look at like the result of that, like, oh, look at these extra pounds, or like, now I gotta like, I've been resting all this time, now I gotta like work myself back up into fitness and stuff. But I don't think it was time wasted.
No. It definitely gave me the energy I needed to like learn new things and correct some things in my body and like think new thoughts. So I don't regret the choices I made. I wish I'd done them a little smarter maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, in the long run, I'm grateful that I found what I did and that I was able to learn what I did and that I was able to like go and get some further education. So yeah, that's a lot of my fertility journey. Where I am now is like trying to dial in supplements and lifestyle, especially lifestyle. I've had to come to the hard realization that what I considered to not be stress was very stressful. And that was a lot of people saying to me over a long period of time, you're really stressed out. And maybe, no, I'm not.
I don't feel stressed.
I don't feel stressed. I must just bury it. And it's coming out in my body. So gonna kind of transition now into like some of my like real emotions and struggles with this, because like I said, I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. I help people get out of this situation. I help people correct this. I help people get their fertility back, and I don't have it. And that is so frustrating. So it's like that's one of the real emotions that I experience is frustration. I'm doing all the right things. I don't understand why I'm not where I need to be. I feel embarrassed that I can help other people and I can't help myself. I feel really freaking sad sometimes that other people get to hold their babies and I don't get to hold mine. I feel honestly pretty angry at times that things aren't going the way that I want them to go. And I know that makes me sound like very childish, but it's just like that. I get it. I get angry sometimes. Sometimes I feel defeated, like this is never going to happen. It's just not meant to be. So if you are feeling these emotions and struggling with those thoughts and those feelings, just know that I'm right there with you. We think that learning something new or trying something new is going to fix it. I've learned a ton. I've tried a ton. And it's just really hard, especially to see yourself objectively, to like have the bird's eye view on yourself. It's just too hard to look subjectively at yourself. This is going to sound like just a plug for my programming, but it's really for me too. Like I seek help outside of myself because it's just too hard to see your own struggles clearly. You're too emotionally invested.
Yeah, where there's emotions, there's not going to be clarity.
So some of the things that I'm doing, I want to talk about some of those, but I just want to go in with the caveat of like, this is not a prescription. This is not advice. This is stuff that I'm doing for myself that is specifically for me in knowing my own history and my own goals and my own like everything, my own symptoms. So don't think that any of this is prescriptive or advice. I just kind of want to share some of the things that I'm doing. And like I said, one of the big things for me is like lifestyle stuff and stress stuff. So a lot of what I'm doing is slowing down, making sure that I take time to do things that I enjoy just because I enjoy them and not because they're productive. Some of those things are productive and I enjoy that too. Like one of the big things that I've started doing is sourdough. I've really been enjoying that. It gets me It gets me in the kitchen where I love being. I'm doing something with my hands that I love doing. And it does feel really good to have a byproduct that is like, this is actually like healing for me, both emotionally and physically. So that's one of the things I've been doing, is really, really trying hard to do things that are filling my cup. I've been trying to go for walks more, and not just like a walk. This isn't a diss on Emily's 10,000 steps, but this isn't a walk where I'm like, I gotta walk for 20 minutes or this many steps. It's like, this is a walk to get me outside and not on my phone and not on a screen and looking at go touch grass. Like right now it's snow for us, but get outside, work a little bit harder. I've been snowshoeing a lot and I love it. It works up a huge sweat, like just really great workout. But it gets me outside, breathing fresh air. I don't take my phone so I can think. I get to see wildlife sometimes, or just their tracks. That's one of the other things I've been doing. Something else I've been doing is a couple weeks ago I released a reel on our Instagram that had some of my like 3 tiny things changing my life right now. And some of those things have been really helpful for me. Things like blood sugar management and really dialing things in with the blood sugar, because blood sugar, it plays a huge role in hormonal health. I did like a specific glycerite blend, trying to like address some issues there. I've been sleeping with socks on because warm feet, warm uterus. I've changed the way I talk about my body. I just said uterus, but I try not to say like uterus very much anymore. I try to say things like womb, or my favorite is baby home. Like, just trying to like shift my perspective from something clinical to something more warm and inviting. I've been praying a lot more, and I know like it sounds like, shouldn't you have been praying a lot more before? Yeah, I probably should have. But shifting from problem solving mode to conversation mode, or less like praying because I'm like, I don't know what to do about this problem, to more like, I'm happy to receive the baby when you're willing to give me the baby, kind of conversational praying. I have a stack of curated supplements, and sometimes when my mental health gets a little wonky, I cut them way back. So like, that's one of the things that I'm doing, is giving myself a break sometimes when I'm like, it's too much to try to do all of this all of the time. It's wearing on me. I cut way back on things. I've been making sure that I eat enough and often enough. This is like blood sugar regulation, but also having like enough calories to like have enough micronutrients and enough excess energy to like have to create new life. I've been trying to like follow cycles a little bit more, and this is like, it can be a little difficult because like for me, my period goes missing for a long period of time, and then it shows up. Like I have like long cycles, and so it can be hard for me to like follow like, oh, you know, eat this for the first 2 weeks, eat this for the second 2 weeks. So I've just been following the moon, and when, you know, between the full moon and the new moon is when I consider it to be my luteal phase. So I eat foods that are more specific for nourishing and help me to like rest and relax. So I cook a lot of meals that are like familiar to me, or comfort foods for me, or don't require a lot of effort from me. And then new moon to full moon is when I consider like, this is my follicular phase, or when it should be. And so that's when I eat like more high energy foods, or foods that take a little bit more to digest, or you know, a new recipe that's going to take a little bit more brain work from me. So like trying to do things a little more cyclically, and even like just in my life, like I try to plan events that are going to take a lot from me, try to plan those in the first 2, or in the new to full moon phase, and then things that are going to like I try to plan more things like baths and reading and like inward stuff for the second 2 weeks. And I've been trying to like get my business in a place where I'm working on things, like more outward focused things during those first 2 weeks and more inward focusing things on the next 2 weeks. So that was like a lot of things that I've been doing, and it kind of begs the question, like, what am I not doing during this time? And things that I'm not doing this time, beating myself up. I talked a little bit about my real emotions and struggles, and it can be hard when you feel so frustrated, sad, defeated, angry, to like then switch into a mode where it's like, something's wrong with me, something's wrong with my body, I'm so broken, I'll never get fixed, all this stuff. So things I'm not doing, I'm not dwelling in those emotions. I'm like refocusing, I'm allowing myself to feel them. It's okay to feel frustrated. Like, it's frustrating. It's okay to feel that. But it's also okay to say, I'm frustrated right now. Where can I take a break? I'm feeling sad right now. How can I nourish myself in this space? I'm feeling angry right now. How can I get that anger out of my body and express it? Do a hard workout or write about it or, scream in the car, like just something to get it out and not dwelling in your brain. So I'm not beating myself up. I'm not dwelling on, how broken I am. I'm not hiding from my spouse. I'm not keeping things from him. I'm, trying really hard to be open and honest about things, be vulnerable about it. I'm not cutting calories and going on weird diets because I heard that it's great for fertility. I'm not trying random new supplements unless I know what they're for and what they do. I'm not trying to ditch a ton of weight because I know a lot in the fertility space. The big recommendation is lose weight. And I have a lot of thoughts about losing weight, both good and bad. I have a lot of thoughts around losing weight, but I'm not doing crash dieting or heavy workout routines to just get rid of the weight. I'm not isolating myself or refusing to see other people and their kids or refusing to congratulate people when they tell me that they're having kids, or not going to baby showers, because those events can be painful. It can be painful to show up somewhere and be excited for somebody who has what you so desperately want. But I think having a great perspective of they have what I want and that's a blessing.
I say to my kids a lot when they're fighting about something not being fair, I say so-and-so got 2 cookies, I only got 1, but now they're all gone. I would say why is it more fair, or how is it more fair if you got the 2 cookies and they only got 1? How is that more fair?
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
So wishing somebody else wouldn't have what you want, that's not how things work. It's not like if they didn't have it, you would.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So just shifting your perspective to that. And I think your mindset around fertility, conception, other people, it can impact your own fertility. You feeling bitter or angry about somebody else can impact your own fertility journey. I think it can hold you back. Not to say if you're bitter and angry, you'll never have a baby, because lots of
if only it was that simple.
Yes, but I think it can help create a sense of safety in your body when you're not on guard all the time and ready for a fight and angry all the time.
So I guess that brings us to then, how can I, as somebody who loves you, support you when you're hurting? And in general, how can anybody support somebody who's hurting, especially through infertility?
I don't pretend to have all the answers here because I'm just one person experiencing fertility struggles. And lots of people experience it in different ways. And there's like lots of root causes, and that can kind of create some different feelings, I think. But the big thing is like what you're already doing. You're sitting and listening, saying, yeah, that is frustrating. Kind of like holding space and saying, you can feel your feelings around me and express like how you feel around me. That's the big thing, is just being the listening ear.
I'd like to think that I'm good or getting good at feeling out or asking, like, are we in listening mode or are we in problem solving mode? Because sometimes we are in problem solving mode,
Right.
and our fingers are flying over text like, have you seen this research? What do you think about this? But I'm being very cautious not to jump right into, hey, my friend was taking this supplement. She got pregnant.
Right. You should try this.
Yes. And just kind of waiting it out and seeing, like, where are you at mentally? Maybe you do need just a break and somebody to listen.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing. Or like even suggesting a break.
Mm-hmm. I think I've done that
sounds like
too.
you're really overwhelmed. Why don't you take a break from it?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, how can I help you with your overwhelm?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you need to just come over and take a walk and talk?
I think probably the main takeaway is just when somebody's going through something that you don't really understand, like being slow to jump into I know just what you need, because I don't. I'm just here to listen and hold space for you.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah. We have a close friend group that it's like our main chat that we go to when we need women to, meet at the well with. And two of them have tiny children. I have a gaggle of children. And it's been really important, at least to me, to make sure that, like, you are just as much a part of that group. Like, you are no different, no less, no set apart. Like, when we decide to go have a play date, like, Aunt Kayla's always invited. Like, it's not like, oh, we'll just get the kids together. Like, it's more about the women getting together than it is about the kids.
Right. And I really appreciate that. It's like the group chat's getting together.
Mm-hmm.
The kids just happen to be there because we have them.
What else are we going to do with them?
Right. And I love it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, just because I don't have my own doesn't mean that I don't enjoy watching other people with their kids. And maybe I'm unique in that way, where I can appreciate the children around me and still be sad that I don't have my own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do appreciate being included in the moms group.
Yeah, it's weird because it kind of is more. I mean, we all started having kids, so it became a mom's group. But like, yeah, it's still just the friends getting together. And I think you are really gracious, and you're walking through this very graciously, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Hopefully this reached the right ears and the people who needed to hear it today. And we see you. We're holding space for you. We're rooting for you. We're in your corner. You are so much more important, and there's so many more interesting things about you than what you create or what you do. We like you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey there, friends. Are you feeling stuck or overwhelmed on your health journey? Maybe you've got questions about digestion, supplements, or just how to take that next small step toward feeling better. Well, I've got something exciting just for you. Office Hours. Every Tuesday, I'm hosting 2 live video chat sessions where we can connect one-on-one. This is your chance to ask questions, get guidance, or simply chat about how to make progress on your health journey. Whether it's understanding your supplements, tackling digestion challenges, or figuring out how food and lifestyle can support you, I'm here to help. Now, here's the fun part. While the links to join Office Hours are available to everybody, my email subscribers get so much more. By joining my email list, you'll not only stay updated on Office Hours reminders, but also get access to exclusive tips, resources, and inspiration to help you feel your best. Head over to the show notes for this episode and sign up for my email list today. I can't wait to see you during office hours and help you take your next steps with confidence and clarity. Let's do this together.
So, Kayla, what's good this week?
What's good this week is my local library.
Yes, love the library.
Me too. We don't have one in my town, so I have to go to adjacent towns. And so I've been going to one that happens to be on my way to and from work, and I love it. They know me by name. I don't even have to bring my library card in. They're just like, oh, hey, I saw you have a book on hold, and like wondering when you were going to stop in.
Oh, I love that.
They're the best, and I love them so much. And I've been donating books to them instead of just taking them to Salvation Army, and they love that. And I can't sing the praises of a library enough. Like, not just my local branch library, who I love dearly, but just like libraries in general.
Mm-hmm.
They're a great resource for, like, if you want to try out a book and you're not sure that you're going to love it, get it from the library. If you decide you love it and you want to keep it on your shelf, then buy it.
Yeah.
Our local library has like connections to like places to get audiobooks and ebooks, and I use those resources all the time. Like, I'm constantly listening to audiobooks that I checked out from my local library through an app. I don't read ebooks, it's just not my preferred method, but you can get ebooks all the time through your local library.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy to me. I love my library. And so that's what's good this week.
I love that.
What about you, Emily?
I'm like really giddy about this, and I shouldn't be. You should see me putting this thing together, because I was like, I haven't been this giddy in a really long time. I bought for myself with Christmas money a Kindle stand. I mean, it can be anything stand, but this stand that like, it's like a heavy base, and then it's like this arm that like comes up and like articulates so you can move it all over to hold my Kindle. And I bought a remote page turner for it.
Yes.
I feel this is life-changing, I'm telling you. So I bought it for two reasons. One, I bought it so I could read a book and walk on my walking pad. And it's been awesome. Because you can like obviously watch TV while you like walk on a walking pad, but nothing engrosses me like a book does. And I never thought I'd be a person who says that, but I am a person who says that now. So like time just flies when I get into a book and I'm walking. And I also bought it to put next to my bed, partially for when I'm nursing, because I've dropped a lot of things on babies' heads, including Kindles. And also, like, then I can be like all snuggled up under a blanket and like use my automatic page turner and not even get my hand cold. I'm so excited, and it's so stupid, but honestly, $50 worth every penny. I'm going to smash that reading goal this year. Thank you for listening to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast.
To learn more about my one-on-one packages, join my mailing list and follow me on Instagram at Kayla King Wellness.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast feed wherever you listen to podcasts. You don't want to miss an episode.
Follow us on Instagram at Good Enough Wellness Podcast to learn about upcoming episodes and join our free Patreon to interact with the Good Enough community.
The Good Enough Wellness Podcast, because good enough can be good enough.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Me too.